Good morning and very welcome to Madrid. Thank you for coming. Thank you Multilingual web community for keep organizing this event, and thank you Leaders Project for helping to this. Well, I will try now in the next 15 or 14 and a half minutes to change a bit the topic. First of all, just presenting ourselves. We are Linguaserve provider company specialized in multilingual web. We have been working since almost 15 years in this domain, working with all these things we have been discussing about interoperability or techniques. And I will try today to bring some reality to the daily life working regarding multilingual web for most of the people. The first thing is the multilingual web, whether it's necessary for small and medium enterprises. Well, the first thing to say is that LSPs, we are small and medium enterprises. More than 99.9% of the LSPs around the world are small and medium companies. We are talking out of around 27,000 companies, only a couple of tens are or can be described as big companies. But multilingual web is important. It's important not only because it's the most effective way of communication channel. It's critical for the long and medium term of the growth of development of business. Multilingual web is also critical for the, as was mentioned yesterday. And societies are basically, as we will see now, are compounded by small and medium organizations. So if those organizations and those people, they cannot reach everything and all the interesting thing we are talking here, the advanced technological solutions for multilingual web will be only for an elite and will not be part of the real life of most of the world population. Well, yesterday and this morning, for example, Jan Nelson mentioned in his presentation, or Hans this morning, we have global market. We have important to say for global markets is that you have to take into account many things, but it's not only global markets. As you will see, we have also the regional markets. In the case of regional markets, for example, in the single European market that was mentioned this morning, most of the European market are small and medium companies. So all those are multilingual, but not only the regions are multilingual, but even the local markets are multilingual. You can have, of course, countries with different official languages, like Spain, or you can have small countries that they need other languages to communicate around. But also, thanks to the globalization, we have new needs, like, for example, local communities with foreign languages. That was mentioned by Jan about San Francisco. 45% of the population are not native English speakers. But also, the tourism produces multilingual needs in a local market, the business relationships, and even the multinational companies, they need internal communication within even the same country. So, when do I need a multilingual website? To approach a global market, to make real a unique single market like in Europe, or to improve your business development in local market. In any of those cases, multilingual communication, multilingual web are strategic matters. It's not just a service, it's a business strategical decision to approach that. Which are the right questions? Normally, in the small and medium companies, the right question is how many words I have to translate and how many languages. Most of the things we are discussing are not taken into consideration. For example, which is the balance between the cost and the quality I need to develop my business? Or do I have the staff with the knowledge? Or do I have a technological environment to do that? Or do I have an unmanned, undistributed way of working? Or I'm ready for new technology or trends and for all the new devices? Or, for example, do I guarantee maximum consistency because I'm using different providers? Or do I apply computer-assisted translation or machine translation in the right way? Or do I reuse the knowledge so I have an intelligent cost saving? Or do I track the service I get to know where I am? So taking advantage of competitive needs to answer not only how many words and how many languages I need to translate. What is available out there? I'm not to put a full list because most of those things they were mentioned already and they will mention later on and they will mention probably in the next multilingual web meeting. But just I'll put some. For example, regarding web content treatment, which are the methodologies to work. We have copy and paste. You have localizers copy and the client paste, or the client copy and the client paste. We have access to the CMS directly from translators. We have access directly to translation management system from translators. We can export and import. We can do it manually. We can do it semi-automatically. We can do it automatically. And we have multilingual online publishing. Do you know which is the real standard of web content treatment in real life? Which one of those? Copy and paste. This is the standard of interoperability and content treatment. So part of our job is explaining to the clients that there are other ways to do things. For example, in management and interaction, we can get the content in a USB, in a memory, or through the email, or we can access to the client system, for example, using a VPN, or we can upload, download by FTP, or shared drive, or a virtual offices, or CMS, TMS interoperability with SOAPs, RESTful, these kind of things, with workflows, or automatic detection using crawlers for updating web content, or automatic HTML multilingual publishing. Again, which one do you think is the standard? The email. Most of the people use the email. And for example, I'm not going to mention formats, but somebody from Microsoft is here. Thank you. Excel. This is the standard, not XLive. Excel. And for example, about translation, we have several means. We can organize it as asynchronous and synchronous. We have human translation, but even we have human translation without any translation environment still for many things, and with translation environment, and so on. So that means that the real life, the reality, I was looking the other day in the internet how many small and medium companies there are in the world. And I saw different numbers, 90%, 97%, 99%, 95%. None of the numbers was lower than 90%. So this 90% normally offers jobs to 80% of the population of the world. And only these 5 to 10% of big companies offer jobs to 20% of the population. So this is our markets. What are the key challenges? Of course, we have technologies. Oh, for a small company, what a mess. I have to learn every day new things, new standards, web translation. I have to have prepared infrastructures, document format and databases, communications and protocols, workflows development, servers, software installations, maintenance, evolution, personalization, human factors. These are very important. Maturity level is a new concept that, for example, Common Sense Advisory is using now of the client, which is the maturity level of the client. But technical and linguistic know-how. And there is out there people ready to work. I'm not saying within my organization, but in the places, the universities, they produce people ready to go, trained people for multilingual web in the different aspects, or not. The other day in Istanbul, in the gala meeting, one of the discussions was there is not trained people to be directly working in the companies. Or do we have those people if they exist in my organization? Or do I have internal or external dependencies to work with technologies and system methods that I don't know? Or my people that know something, they know everything they need, or they have a partial knowledge? Or do I have ways of continuous training and education? Or can I do any research? Normally, the real life says most of these questions, no. Cost and time. Do I have the budget? Normally, this is the first question. Not only to translate or to approach a translation, but the multilingual web has a very concrete characteristic regarding budget. While if I translate a document, this document, I don't need to update it every day or every week, so I don't need to retranslate it or to modify translation every day. The multilingual web needs a continuous budget if you want to have a continuous web activity. So apart from technical issues, to have a continuous budget and a return of the cost that you put there is critical. But do I have to adapt the cost to my needs or my needs to the cost, to the budgets I have? This is also a very often question I found. Do I understand the localization cost structure? This is a mess. To understand, at the end, everything goes to the price per word. While the real work we do is not only this. We do project management, we do DTP, we do technical work, implementation, but not only cost per word. But it's hard to explain this. And time to market, how long I take until I have something ready for going there, for going to those markets where I want to sell. And the time to dedicate to multilingual activities. Or the time to deliver, the time I need the translation done and the service level agreement I need. Of course, this is hard. So since I have 3 minutes, I just finish with a couple of concepts. I think that multilingual sensitive content needs to be taken into account, and also web-sensitive translation system. I go very quickly. Of course, technology can help. All those value chains, multilingual web server with a lot of characteristics. But the reality is that the clients, they don't care about that. The only thing they really care is which are the systems I see, with which system I create the content. Do I have assistant tool for creating content? For example, ITS 2.0. If the client do not put the tagging, how can we use the tagging? Somebody has to put it. There are tools out there to help non-trained people to do this. So, of course, helping people, training people, helping, forming, and providing other services, because selling in the global market is not just putting a website. You have to do communication by telephone, many other things. So, well, I have to finish with this slide. And I will say that, for example, the commodity of added value. Well, even the concept of I get what I pay in multilingual web is not always obvious. And that was mentioned also yesterday. So at the end, who can help SMEs? All those people, first themselves, but on top of this, those people. So I would say that if we want to approach small and medium companies to multilingual web, in this meeting, we should have more people dedicated to create content management system, more people to create toolkits for content creation, more people that are the people that allows the clients to create the monolingual content in the right way to become later on a very good multilingual web. So I hope that we can open our community to the people that really help SMEs to access to these technologies and solutions. Thank you very much.